Hello, my name is Agbola Omoshebi, and this presentation is focused on an epidemiological study of a disease outcome, which is asthma, in a small town in California, showing how descriptive analysis using odds ratio to determine the amount of residents affected by the pollutant from a chemical plant. Axion Corporation is a chemical plant that emits about 70% waste pollutant into the atmosphere. And a case study control was developed by classifying the residents that of this small town into groups of those that had asthma, and those groups were known as the case groups or the case residents, and the other group involved were the control groups or the control residents, and they were the non-asthmatic residents. Uh, a total size of about 500 people constituted for the sample size. 50% of that was the case group, and the other 50% were the control group. And a survey was conducted based on volunteers after receiving informed consent from them and a disclosure that the information that they provide will be confidential. The survey was in two sections. The first comprising of data regarding age, sex, and race, and the other section of data collected um, involved questions based on the level of exposure, the history of exposure, including questions on the residents, how long they have lived in the area, proximity to the chemical plant, how often they commute around the chemical plant, their smoking history, and if they had any pre-existing conditions. And once all of this survey was done and data collected, um, a descriptive analysis using odds ratio was used to determine the odds ratio of the number of residents that had the illness and the number of residents that were not affected at all. And we can see from this chart that the case group has an odds ratio of 10 compared to the control group with an odds ratio of 8. And so, having these results, um, the inferences based on that was that 80% of the population were affected compared to 20% of the population that weren't affected with asthma at all. Um, and the inferences that I would infer to the researchers in this community or in this area would be to work and develop effective prevention and measures that would improve the living conditions of those that are exposed, um, and the effect of the exposure itself, which is causing illnesses to the residents. Um, and we can also go forward that the relevant analysis of this, based on the biostatistical principles applied to this, will be to help in developing evidence-based intervention and to promote outreach with public health department. And this would help in improving the quality of life through data driven research. Thank you.